Okay. Well, welcome to the Philippines. Добро пожаловать на Филиппины. Мы очень рады, чтобы вы с нами. We're glad that you're here. We thank you for joining us today. I realize at the moment we don't have any people live, but that's okay. This video will be available later on after we finish our the live stream. So anyways, we're glad that you're joining us. Thank you for joining us here in the Philippines. We're currently in a place called Newport City. You can see the fountain behind us. But that's more of just like the area. It's not like an actual city, right? But Newport City is actually part of Pasay, which is part of Metro Manila, which is, of course, the largest city in the Philippines, essentially. Is it safe to say that?
No, it's not a city. It's like a region. It's not a city. Metro Manila is not a city. It's a group of cities.
Okay. So Metro Manila is just a group, but nonetheless, it's huge. It's massive. So that's where we're going to start our walk today. We thought during this video that we would give you kind of an update as to what's going on with us. There's a lot been going on. As you know, well, maybe you don't know actually, but we are no longer in Russia. We are actually on our way to the States. So the reason why we're in the Philippines is because we've been trying hard to get to the United States, and because of, well, I was intending to get into this later on, but because of everything, we've actually had to move to the Philippines for now, try to get Marianne's U.S. spouse visa from here, and then go to the States from there. So we have officially moved out of Russia, but I realize all of our subscribers have subscribed during a time when we were in Russia. But don't worry, we have plenty of things that we have filmed already from Russia that we will continue to post with time. So one of my favorite things to post though are walking videos, and now that we have a stabilizer, it's made it all the more enjoyable to create those type of videos and to post those. So my thought was, well, why don't we combine genres here? We will give you kind of a tour of this area. This is currently where we are living, not like right here, but within a 5-minute walk from here. And so I thought, well, we'll give you kind of a walking video, give you a tour of the area, and then also just kind of give you an update on how things are going. So
by the way, Newport is just across the Terminal 3 airport.
Yeah, so Ninoy Aquino International Airport. Terminal 3 is actually just across the street over here. I don't know if we'll actually see it from where we are, but as we're going down this street, we might actually see a plane taking off. I saw one last night. It was quite impressive. So anyways, so please come along with us as we take you around the neighborhood and give you kind of an update as to how things are going. We'll switch it so that it's no longer in selfie mode, switch the camera. So we'll give you a view of what we're seeing essentially. So, and while it's on my mind, we'll mention too, like COVID restrictions off the bat. You might notice that we're both wearing masks. It's not because we love masks and because we want to have masks on, it's because that's what the current rule is, correct? So you'll see a lot of Filipinos wearing masks during this time, but we're hoping and praying that the mask mandate will be revoked. All right, so along here we have a lot of restaurants. So why?
Chinese restaurant.
Yeah, this is apparently Chinese.
There's a lot of Chinese people living in this area. Quite a lot of people from mainland China.
All right. And this area over here, we have lots of restaurants too, but we'll go ahead and cross the street. Let's do that, and we'll show you those. Okay. I feel like an obvious foreigner here. That's something else I was intending to talk about is, what is it like for me as a foreigner to be in the Philippines? Hopefully I'll talk about that more later on. We'll see.
He has lots of experience.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna go to this crosswalk up here and cross there. But yeah, we've got hotels. Like what?
Yeah, there are a lot of hotels in this area because it's very close to the airport.
Yeah. So this area here is one of the more foreigner-friendly areas. So you'll see quite a bit of foreigners around here, but it's still kind of one of the more posh areas, would you say?
Yes.
Typical Filipinos aren't living in this area, right?
No.
So this is more like foreigners. It's right by the airport and so on. So, all right, we'll walk through this thing real quick. I'll just briefly. During the evening, I was kind of hoping to do a live stream during the evening, because then this would be all
a
lot of food, a lot of great things to see. And here's a sample of some of the stuff that you can see here. So a lot of Asian style foods, Filipino foods, of course. They love American food here as well. In fact, you'll see this restaurant right here. It's SNR. This is it's like the equivalent of Sam's Club in the States. So here they serve New York style pizza, as you can tell by the sign. We'll zoom in here, and I'll tell you, we've had pizza from SNR before, and they have one size. Again, it's New York style, so it's pretty big, and one size, and I tell you, it made me feel like a child carrying that thing.
So huge.
I mean, like, roughly how big would you say the box is? Like
22 inch?
22 inch?
Was it? Yeah, I think so.
If you were holding the box right now, how big do you think it'd be? Yeah, it's massive. It will make you feel childlike.
Yeah. And
But
the price is good.
yeah, the price is reasonable. And Marianne and I have been actually testing out the various pizza places around this area, and SNR, I believe we ranked as number 3. Number 3. You might be asking, well, what is number 1 and number 2? Well, later on, I hope to show you those places. Now, I have to remember that I teased you there, so you're going to want to stay to the end of the video to find out what's the number 1 pizza place here. As YouTubers use that gimmick to get you to watch the entire video to get them more watch time. All right, I do like this fountain here with the bowls. I don't know if it has a special significance.
National animal.
It's a carabao, so it's not a bull. Apparently, it's a carabao, and it's the national animal of the Philippines. I was not aware of that until just now. You'll notice we have McDonald's here, of course. There are actually 3 McDonald's within this area. If we go behind.
5-minute walk from each.
Yeah, within basically a 5-minute walk of each. So McDonald's. Okay, so I'll turn here. So straight ahead, just right there, is the airport.
It's the airport already.
Yeah, correct. So that's how close the Manila International Airport. Oh, there's a guy behind us. You've got to be careful here. This is not the best place to cross, but there's no crosswalk, so that's what we got to do. All right, back there is a barangay. In fact, it's Barangay 183, and that is essentially a district. So the city is divided up into various districts called barangays. So there you go. So the sign, I love Barangay 183. And I'll admit, I was a bit nervous going into this barangay before. Now that I've been in there a few times, it's not so intimidating for me. But it's very clear that I'm a foreigner and I stand out. So, by the way, you'll notice we have jeepneys, which is that thing that just passed by us, and the thing that's in front of us there. Also, another thing I've noticed too is that the taxis will honk at you to try to get your attention and to try to pick you up and get you to ride in their taxi. So you'll hear a lot of little beeps.
This huge pink building is the Barangay Hall.
Okay, is that like City Hall then?
Kind of, I mean, it's not a city, but Barangay Hall. It's equivalent to a city hall, but in a smaller scale.
Okay.
Like each barangay have their own barangay hall where you can get certain documents,
Okay.
like residential certificate, or it has its own health center where you can get vaccines or check up for free.
Okay.
Yeah, I could already see the clinic there.
Okay. All
Anyway,
right.
so we have to go inside this one.
Okay. You'll notice a lot of.
Hi.
Hello. You'll notice a lot of vehicles like this as well that are traveling around here. and these are called
Tricycle.
trikes. So this is a very common way of getting around the Philippines as well. I gotta be careful not to get hit by a car. So yeah, like a motorcycle taxi. And then again, this is looking back towards where we came from. That's the Newport City area. But we're actually...
The dog is crossing!
Yeah, a dog's crossing right there. Imagine that. That's another thing too. Keep an eye out for stray dogs, for stray cats. There are quite a few. So, all right. Do you want to go in, or shall we?
No, show them. This is more the common Filipino residential area.
Okay. Yeah,
Common scenery.
This is more real life, the real deal. But we're gonna take you in here fairly quickly and see what it's like. We have to go through this little entrance here where I think I don't know if this is like a disinfection place or what, but there you go. Yeah. All right. So here's where things get real fun.
This is the local life.
Local life.
There's-
Oh, check it out. This is my favorite food stand here. Lemon James. Ah. I will say one thing that I've appreciated about the Filipinos is the sense of humor that I see that they have. And this is one thing that I really appreciate. Lemon James. Ah, so funny. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. So we'll go ahead and I'll have Marianne ahead of me here, guiding.
This used to be my favorite pizza when I was younger.
Lots of pizza right here.
It's a step up street pizza.
Okay, yeah, there are a lot of street pizzas. By that we mean places like this that are kind of on the street where you can pick up cheap.
A whole pizza for $1.50.
Okay. Doesn't appear to be open at the moment, so we'll keep on going.
We're still early.
Yeah, that's the thing. We're actually filming this. It's just before noon.
Yeah, and there's a lot of security guards too.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Keep an eye out for the security guards because, no offense to anybody, but it seems like half of the male population are security guards. There are actually a lot of female security guards as well, but still, there are a lot, and there's a reason for that. That I think, but I'd like to talk about that later because there's a certain spot where we're going that will better highlight that. So this is the kind of stuff that we're talking about. Fried bananas apparently.
Fried bananas.
Wait, so these are all fried bananas?
Yeah, it's fried bananas. Yeah, with sugar.
Fried bananas with sugar. The things down here at the bottom too?
Yes, this one is sweet potato.
So we got sweet potato.
They're all deep fried with sugar.
They're all deep fried with sugar. Huh. Thank you. Okay. So now this is the real deal. We got a Korean street food place right there. It's really an interesting place. But again, we came here around 11:45 at the moment. It would be much busier during the evening. One thing too that I'll point out that I've noticed is that the sidewalks here are much more narrow. So usually, even though there's a sidewalk, usually people are walking in the street, which makes me feel in danger pretty much at all times, but still. And that might have been the same dog that we saw earlier actually. So here in the barangay you can get all kinds of fruits and vegetables, lots of stuff that I've never even seen before.
Lots of leafy vegetables.
Okay.
Yeah, things that I couldn't find in Russia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one thing that Marianne really missed when she was in Russia was the
Green leafy vegetables.
green leafy vegetables. Let's take a look over here at the lechon manok. So we'd like to cross here, but we've got a line of traffic.
In the meantime, while we're waiting for the traffic, you can see that they're selling sweet corn and steamed nuts on the street.
There we go. Steam? Is it steam? Hello. Oh.
Yummy.
How much would one of those cost?
Ate, magkano, te? 35, 35. 35.
So 35.
This is like $50 and it's a little bit more Then $50.
Okay. All right. Yeah, the prices are good for street food here. So, okay. All right. Thank you. Check out the chicken now that the traffic is cleared.
There used to be a lot of seafood here, but
So this is Senor Pedro. Lechon manok is the same thing as basically roasted chicken. Or we got the chicken being roasted here. It always smells very good. So that's one thing that I've learned about the Philippines too, is that they love their roasted chicken, and I've come to love it too. I mean, I liked it before, but it's been one of our staples here. And yeah, roasted chicken with some steamed vegetables and some macaroni and cheese, and man, that makes for a good meal. Okay, we got a pharmacy right here, and then yeah, just a little ways down here is another roasted chicken place where you can actually, it looks like ribs as well.
No, that's a pork belly.
Oh, pork belly. So
roasted pork belly and roasted whole chicken.
So the longer strips.
Yeah, that's pork belly.
Pork belly. Wow.
You can see the prices there.
Okay, so prices for the whole chicken, 269 pesos, which the current exchange rate is roughly 51 pesos per $1 US. So roughly 50 pesos per dollar. So just divide it by 50 and there you go. So roughly a little more than $5 for a whole chicken. And you'll notice here we've got, whoops, I flipped the camera around. This is actually Marianne's camera, so I'm not sure how it all works. Okay, we've got this long line of tricycles here. So tricycles are the motorcycles that are basically taxis. Okay, now what? This actually is a pretty interesting area.
We also love milk tea.
Yeah, milk tea apparently.
It's been quite a craze for a few years already.
Okay. And why do you suppose that is? Like, is that some kind of foreign influence, or is that a Filipino
it's from
thing?
Taiwan.
Ah. Yeah, the Korean craze. There's a lot of Korean stuff as well. So.
See bananas, mango.
Right. So.
Local eateries. Yeah, babe.
Okay. Oh yeah, they have like a place like this where you can get actually sit in like an actual restaurant as well. You can get various street burgers and stuff like that as well. You have a barber shop right here where you can get a haircut for 80 pesos. So a typical man's haircut, 80 pesos, a little more than, well, basically $1.50, a little more than $1.50, and that's quite reasonable. Then like various items.
Household, kitchen, garden supplies for
Yeah.
very low prices.
It'll be hard to see.
Right, so it's not that busy yet because it's in the middle of the day. Usually in the afternoon and evening, this place will be busier.
Yeah, but we chose this time, one, because it would be fairly convenient for people in the States to watch, depending on where you're from, within the States, of course. And then also people in Russia, whom we have not forgotten about. We nie zabili was. We have not forgotten our friends in Russia, so we wanted to make it a time where they could potentially watch as well, which would be quite early in the morning for them, but still. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, you gotta be careful when crossing the road here. It's kind of a free-for-all.
And street fruits over there, chicken.
You got fried chicken on sale here. 18 pesos for a fillet, 15 for choice cut, 10 pesos for rice. There's a cat. All right. So we're actually in their little shop. We're actually walking towards the dentist.
Yes.
I don't know if you chose this route for that purpose, but right up here on the right-hand side is a dental clinic. A little story behind that. This past weekend, Friday night actually, while eating, I actually broke off part of my tooth, and I wanted to, well, it needed to be fixed fairly quickly. And so we were searching around for a dental clinic. There's one right near where we live. However, it's meant for tourists. So the prices are much more expensive. By American standards, it's still quite reasonable, still very good. But if you go to a local clinic, somewhere that's not within that touristy area of Newport City, you'll actually get much, much better prices. And we ended up searching around, and this is where we came to. So this particular dentist. And so to give you an idea of some of the prices, how do you flip it? Oh, sorry. It's always difficult walking through the streets here. Okay, so to give you an idea price-wise, so Marianne got her got a cleaning done. I ended up having the dentist kind of check out, make sure that my teeth were okay, and then took a couple of x-rays and put a filling in that tooth that had broken off in preparation for a crown. And all together, our bill ended up being 2,250 pesos, which ends up being I believe around $43. So all that stuff, all that dental work that we got done for the equivalent of $43. If we had gone to the more international clinic, we'll pass by it later on. If we had gone to that clinic, then it would have been quite reasonable still, but not like that.
But not for a Filipino budget.
Oh, of course. Yeah, for a Filipino budget, that's still way too expensive. And so, yeah. And I don't blame them. Yeah, me personally, I'm under the impression that things like medical care, dental care, shouldn't be as expensive as what it is. So medical tourism here is actually quite popular. It's becoming more common, I think. Mm-hmm. And with prices like that, you know, a lot of people, let's go ahead and move down this way. A lot of people can come here to the Philippines and actually take a vacation.
Plus get medical treatment.
Plus get all the medical treatment done that they need to get done.
Plus the flights and hotels.
Plus the flights and hotels, and they can still come out
way cheaper.
Way cheaper than had they done it in their own country. So it's amazing. So we're taking advantage of that opportunity by getting dental things done, getting other medical type stuff done. I'll stop here and just take a look. So some more street food type stuff. Got what is that? We got tapsilog, longsilog, tosilog. I'd like to kind of cross the street and take a look a little bit closer. Well, we don't get. This is the first time I've tried to navigate traffic and do this at the same time, so it is disorienting to say the least. So, can you explain what these meals are here?
The silogs are a typical Filipino breakfast. It's composed of rice and fried egg or scrambled egg and your choice of meat. So tapsilog is tapa with its sangag and itlog. So tapsilog. Longsilog is longganisa, the rice and the egg. Tosilog, Jarod's favorite, is tocino.
Oh, yeah.
Pork silog is pork chop. Chicksilog is chicken. And bangsilog is a type of milk. It's a milk fish. And bosilog, it's grounded meat, marinated or flavored. It's really good.
So silog basically just means you have an egg and rice.
Yes.
With the meal.
Like a garlic rice.
Yeah. And just to give you an idea of the prices. There you go.
For the sizzling and then.
Oh yeah, sizzling. Again, remember, exchange rate wise, think of 50 pesos per dollar. So the price you see there divided by 50, and there you go. So here's another roasted chicken place. It's fun to see all the roasted chicken places around here. Okay, so that was, oh, and there's Minute Burger. Did we try Minute Burger?
No, not yet.
Okay, we've not yet tried Minute Burger, so one of these days we might get over there and try it. All right, so in front of us is the exit to the barangay. We got a juice stand right here, lemonade station. It's not Lemon James though. You got to come up with a catchier name than just lemonade station. All right.
Yeah, so Filipinos love basketball so much.
Oh yeah, another reason to appreciate Filipinos and their culture.
Yeah,
Right.
During the height of the pandemic and when Kobe Bryant unfortunately passed away, there was someone who named their kid after the quote. They named it COVID Bryant. So funny.
Okay, so we are back. This is
Buko.
Buko. You want to give a quick?
Yeah, local coconut.
So Buko is a coconut drink.
Buko is the coconut fruit.
That's really loud here. All right, so
If you buy the whole buko or the whole coconut, it costs 35 pesos for that whole fruit.
okay. All right, there you go. One thing too that I'll mention is that as opposed to Russia, in Russia I was much more uncomfortable walking around the streets doing this kind of thing, whereas now that we're in at least Marianne's home country, I feel much more comfortable being on the street and actually doing stuff like this. I typically try not to draw attention to myself, but sometimes it's just unavoidable. In Russia, I could kind of blend in, whereas here in the Philippines, I obviously stand
Where you
out.
get your haircut.
Oh yeah, here's the place where I got my haircut. This one's a little bit more expensive, 100 pesos, so about $2. Oh, here's more of the buko drink that we were telling you about, the coconut. Hello. And then another milk tea place. So this is kind of the line where we straddle. Oh, another rotisserie chicken place, Kuya Buds. So this is kind of the line where we straddle, where we go from the barangay on the left side to Newport City on the right side. So let's go ahead and move forward. Another. Hello.
How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Taking a picture?
Taking a video through the neighborhood. Yeah.
YouTube.
Huh?
YouTube.
YouTube?
Sure. So the people here are much more receptive towards video logging and that kind of stuff.
They will not hide their face. They're even
Yeah. So, all right.
another milk tea.
Another place. And all right. We're getting close to one of my favorite places. Here's like a print shop kind of thing where you can print off a bunch of stuff. And then we're approaching the Metro supermarket, which is where we get our groceries, because it's the nearest supermarket. I mean, there's all kinds of food places around, but sometimes you just want a normal supermarket. So Marianne loves going to the market and getting things there, but me personally, I prefer just a normal store. Okay. We got local foods here. What do we have exactly?
Pancit. You had pancit, ginataan.
Okay.
This is just vegetable.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's more. There's like fish.
Okay.
Squid.
Squid
Yeah,
even.
this is milkfish. This is squid.
There's a unfortunate reflection on the glass.
Yeah. Dinuguan, bloody stew. It's made out of pork's blood.
Yeah. Can't hardly see it though because of the reflection. Okay. Here is the place I mentioned. Yeah, one of my favorite spots, not because I'm just in love with Dunkin' Donuts, but because I like cake donuts. And that's what Dunkin' Donuts specializes in. Okay. Let's go move forward. So, what we originally intended to do was actually go straight down this street. Where we came in, it's actually on the other side of this store, and it kind of curves around and then it merges with this street. Originally we were going to go just straight down there and show you, but because there's so many interesting things here, we thought we would take a detour and show you those things as well. Okay. So we'll go ahead and walk down here. There's more street food places. Marianne enjoys going to those places. It's one of the things that she misses when she's away from the Philippines. All right. Again, walking the streets here is always challenging for me because we're walking right in the middle of where traffic is supposed to be, and then we have to get off the side. But as you can see, the sidewalks are usually blocked and often impassable. This area that we're going to, Newport City, it's again a more posh area. The sidewalks there are nice. It's a good place to walk around. There's not as much stuff in the way.
The street foods, the chicken ball, it's not yet here. I think we're still early.
Yeah, okay.
Massage.
Yeah, we got massage place. You can get massages here, you know, for reasonable prices.
Yeah, an hour massage will cost you around $6 to $7.
Okay. $6 to $7 for an hour massage, and when your body's aching and all that, it's a good thing to have. So we have corn and peanuts here as well, similar to what we saw earlier as well. Okay, so here is where again we have the entrance to the barangay right to my left, and this is the street that I was mentioned earlier where it curves around. We started just down the road here and we were going to walk this way, but we decided to take you through the more realistic areas of the Philippines, or of this area I should say. Not that this area encompasses all the Philippines. Okay. Oh, we just missed it. There was a plane. It just flew right there. Bummer. I was too distracted by the water. Okay, let's walk this way. Go ahead and cross here so we're out of the way. For elderly people or people that are not sure of their footing, this is not a great place to be in general, but again, this area is actually quite good sidewalk wise for the most part. Okay. Is that statue of Lapu Lapu?
I think so.
It's a
most likely it's him.
It's a national hero of some sort.
Yeah, he's the very first hero who defended us against the Spaniards.
Okay.
He actually prevented the colonization for a few years, but then eventually the Spaniards came back and invaded us. So it was delayed for a good amount of years.
Alright. So it's looking back where we came from. Alright. I think we'll walk on the other side of the street. It is approaching 90 degrees Fahrenheit here, if it's not already, and it's kind of hot. So I think what we'll do is go ahead and cross the street at this crosswalk and then get in the shade. One thing that I like about here is that right there. It reminds me of Russia because of the architecture. So it's one of the more beautiful places that I've seen here. Okay, let's go ahead and cross. Alright, so back there is where we started the video, a little bit further down the road. It's a really nice area back there. We've got the palm trees. It's a very much a tropical place. Alright.
Yeah, the funny thing is, on the other side that we went to Barangay 183, that's the local prices, the regular prices. But if you come here, the prices have jumped quite high.
Yeah, just one street over and all of a sudden things are way more expensive. So this is just like a little, it's not a food truck, but like a food stand. It's actually right near where we're currently staying. And you can see here the prices are a bit higher. Alright.
These are more like Russian prices.
Yeah.
But still cheaper than the States.
Oh yes. Okay, we got an Asian food place here, which is fairly common. Alright, it's much cooler in the shade, so I'm glad that we switched. Alright. And then on the right hand side here is a restaurant. I've never seen a restaurant like this before, but it is a Cajun fusion restaurant. I've never heard of a Cajun fusion restaurant. Now, call me sheltered, that's fine.
It's
but
really good. It's mostly seafood, different kinds of seafood, lobster, crabs, shrimps, and then seasoned with the Cajun, and you eat it with your hands, or you could put gloves.
Yeah, they do advertise that it's a messy experience.
Yeah.
But then here's the dental implant center that I went to last Friday to check to see if they could fix my tooth for me. And we ended up going with a different place. So that's the place I mentioned before where foreigners can go, and it's great for them, but it's not exactly a place that a typical Filipino would go.
I mean, the rich Filipino would probably go there.
Yeah. So again, this is a lovely area. And back here you have the one palm tree villas and the two palm tree villas, which you can't really see, but it's right over there. And that is, oh, there it is. Sorry, I should have went ahead and crossed the street. But kind of tucked away back there. And that's actually where we're currently staying. But we're only going to be here in this part of the city for about one more week.
Yeah, but we've been here for 3 months already.
Yeah, this has already been about 3 months. So going back to the life update kind of stuff. So we moved out of Russia early to mid-November. Had to say goodbye to our friends there, which was difficult, of course. But it was such a whirlwind. We had to take all of our stuff in our apartment and sell it off, give it away, or just throw it away. Or ship it. All the stuff that we shipped 2 huge boxes here, 5 large boxes to the States. All of it arrived intact and successfully. I was shocked. My respect for the Russian post office has grown tremendously. So nonetheless, we had to wrap everything up there. We left Russia as if we're never coming back to Russia. Now again, that doesn't mean that we won't have more Russia videos. We have plenty of those that we filmed. Kind of a ridiculous amount actually, but nonetheless. So we'll still post stuff from Russia, but we also will start posting stuff from the Philippines as well. Let me take a look down the street here. All right, this is a kind of a fun crosswalk, and that the crosswalk itself is piano keys all the way around. And then right back here is it's a Catholic church, I believe. If you were to look at this church, if you were to look at the aerial view of this church, it actually is in the shape of a cross. And then if we pan over to the left here, this is the Marriott. And then we intend to come back to this road over here here soon, but we're going to walk a little bit further down first. Okay. So we ended up leaving Russia mid-November. Came to the Philippines, came to this area actually. The reason why we're staying in this area, the main reason, is because it's much more conveniently located to the places where we need to go. So we have a lot of things that we need to do in the central part of Manila, and it's much more convenient to get there from here than it is from where our actual home is. So our actual home here in the Philippines is to the south of Manila, not too far, but it's still much more conveniently located. This place here is more conveniently located. So we've been here and we'll be here for one more week. After that, we move back to our actual home, and we'll continue getting things done here. But now, on that topic, the other major thing, this is again the life update thing. If you receive our newsletters, then you'll be familiar with what's going on. But we've been trying to get Marianne to the United States ever since we got married, essentially. We've been trying to get her a spouse visa, and because of the pandemic, everything's been shut down. So like the embassy in Moscow, the US embassy in Moscow wasn't operating essentially, and tensions between Russia and the United States became worse. So they had to lay off, like, I forget however many, like 70% of their workers or something. And it just got worse and worse. And so we realized quite quickly that we need to transfer our case from Russia to the Philippines, where we can actually come here and live here in her home country, not have to deal with the language barrier and all that kind of stuff. And so we transferred the case over in like late July of this past year. Officially transferred the case over. Then we thought, okay, we have time to get, wrap things up there in Russia, finish what we needed to finish. But then we got an email like in September 15th saying, congratulations, you have your interview date. It didn't actually say congratulations, but you have your interview date for October 1st. But we're still in Russia. We still had things going on that we couldn't just up and leave. We weren't planning on that at all. So we ended up having to reschedule. The guy said, once you get to the Philippines, get your medical check, because you have to undergo a medical check for this. So
and then contact them when we have the medical. So that's what we did.
That's exactly what we did. We got here to the Philippines, had to go through the quarantine hotel thing, and then, long story short, she got her medical check done, contacted them, said, hey, we're ready. Can we have a new interview date, please? And we waited and waited and waited. If you recall, if you're familiar with our channel, which maybe you weren't aware of this, but we actually had a playlist going of our U.S. green card saga, the things that we were going through just to get Marianne to the States. And eventually we kind of stopped filming those things because submitting things online isn't terribly interesting, and I wasn't sure how to do it all. So I think where we left you was that we were trying to get an ITIN for Marianne, and we started waiting. Marianne got her ITIN. I was able to file my taxes. I was able to use that my tax return as proof of our marriage and whatever, the proof of the financial stuff.
Support.
Yeah, the support
that you're
thing.
capable of supporting me financially in the States.
Yeah, and so then we could get the ball rolling. But because there's just so much involved with that, it made it difficult to keep an ongoing log of what we were doing. So our green card saga stuff has kind of went by the wayside.
Yeah.
And if you're loyal subscribers to our channel and you're aware of those videos, we apologize for keeping you hanging like that. But things then started moving, and then we had to wait again. And so basically the last couple of months we've been just waiting, contacting the embassy multiple times, like each week, waiting on hold for hours and hours. And
and then after a few months or maybe a month, we receive an email that we can now book an interview appointment online. We don't have to actually wait for them to give us an interview date, but we could actively check the website. It's called CGI Federal or US Travel Docs, where you can book your interview appointment. But you have to keep on checking it because you don't know when a slot would be available. Yeah, so we keep on checking it for a long time.
Yeah, it doesn't give you any kind of calendar that says, hey, things are booked for this month, but hey, next month there's some slots available.
Yeah.
Nothing like that.
No.
You check it and it says there are no interview slots available. Okay, thanks a lot.
And you have to check it multiple times a day.
Multiple times a day.
But you should not exceed, I think, 10 times, because that will block your account. So I have to check like early morning, and then lunch, and then afternoon, then evening, and midnight.
Yeah, it was.
So I've done that for multiple weeks.
Yeah, I feel like so far it's like our lives have been hurry up and wait. And it's been very, very frustrating. But praise God, we actually...
That's not multiple weeks. I've checked it since December. Yeah. Yeah, like more than a month. Checking it every day.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely more than a month of checking it multiple times a day. We're trying to figure out, what is the timeline here? Things keep getting pushed back. The excuse has been, it's COVID. Like, even though the whole world has adapted to COVID, yet they can't seem to adapt. But anyways, I don't want to get on my soapbox here too much. So anyways, we've been waiting, but finally we got an interview date, and actually it's scheduled for Monday. So today is currently the 10th, and on Monday is when Marianne goes in to get her interview. But we found that even though we've been waiting all this time, it's like, oh wait, there are more documents that we need to get. So now Marianne's trying to track down like her baptismal certificate. She's trying to track down stuff of her proof of childhood. Just things like this that's like, why didn't we know about this before? And not that she needs all that stuff, but it's one of those things where she might need it. And if she doesn't have it, and all of a sudden she's not able to get her visa for that reason, well then, it's the thing is, it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So she's trying to get together everything that she possibly needs. The stack is like this thick of all the stuff that she's going to take with her to this interview. So on Monday though, Monday's the big day, Valentine's Day, and like I said, please pray, definitely. Like I said though, there's no more romantic thing in the world than going to a government office and showing your love story to some bureaucrat behind a glass shield. Ah man, so romantic. But anyways, that's what we're gonna do on Valentine's Day, and hopefully on Monday, hopefully Marianne will be approved. So that's kind of where we stand at the moment. Speaking of love story type things, so I wanted to go ahead and show this. This is just a, if you're interested in our lives, here's a little nugget. All right, so this right here is the Marriott, and you can see on the sign it says Grand Ballroom. This is not where Marianne and I got married. However, this actually would have been Plan B. It was although it was way too expensive, so I'm not sure it was actually a legitimate plan B. But this was kind of considered plan B for...
If money was not an issue.
If money wasn't an issue...
We would have gone here.
Okay. So that would have been plan A if money wasn't an issue?
If money is not an issue.
Okay. So, anyways. So we did not get married there, but we considered it. Alright, so we've come down to the end. I don't think that we'll go all the way to the end. The end of the road is actually just right there. You can see it from here, but it's not... Well, we might go a little further. We might go a little further. We'll see. So let's go ahead and cross the street here. So that gives you an update on the green card stuff. Again, pretty much the whole reason why we're in the Philippines. I wanted to mention down there, right there, is Kenny Rogers Roasters, a place that was apparently fairly common in the States back in the day, but is no longer. And if you're a fan of the TV show Seinfeld, you might remember the great Kenny Rogers Roasters episode. And so they have a location down there. And that is what we labeled as the second best pizza that we've tried so far. Their Detroit style pizza is very good. Okay. This is Resorts World Manila. There's a hotel attached to it. Tell you what, I'll walk along the street here. Why not? I'll pick up the pace a little bit so that we're not taking up too much time. But this whole area right here is Resorts World Manila. It's a large mall, and there's a casino in there. And if you recall, towards the beginning of the video, if you were watching then, I was mentioning, you're going to want to stay to the end to find out, this particular thing, using that popular YouTube gimmick to try to get people to stay to the whole end, or watch the entire episode, or watch the entire video. So this is kind of a tragic thing, but I wanted to mention it because it's actually quite fascinating. So back, it was June 2nd of 2017. I was not aware of this until like 2 months ago. So June 2nd, 2017, a man who I believe had debt issues ended up coming in here, entering down towards the end. Long story short, he was shooting a gun, didn't actually shoot anyone, but he was just kind of shooting, not necessarily at anyone, but just maybe to scare people. He ended up setting up a bunch of casino tables and furniture on fire, and it actually resulted in the tragic deaths of I think around 38 people. So the 2017 Resorts World Manila tragedy happened right here. And I, again, was not aware of this until just a couple months ago. It's unfortunate, but it's still one of those morbid histories of this area. And I mentioned before, too, about keeping an eye for all the security guards. And again, I think one of the reasons for all the security guards is because of that kind of stuff has happened before. And there are several other incidents that have occurred over history, recent history, where bad things have happened, and so it kind of makes sense that you need more of a police force or security force in all these places. Okay, I thought this would make for a great metro station in St. Petersburg. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, it looks like a metro station.
Yeah, it's not as nice as Avtova, or even Kirovsky Zavod, or maybe Narvskaya, but it would be in my top 5 maybe of metro stations if this were an actual metro station. But I just wanted to show you that too. Any kind of reminder of Russia for me is something that I appreciate. Okay. Which, by the way, just to give the epilogue to that particular tragic story, the man ended up committing suicide in his hotel room right here. So, anyways, not for the faint of heart, but this is kind of a cool area. Again, there's a casino attached there towards the end. We're not going to go in there, but and then Chinese New Year just occurred. Another thing too that you'll notice is all the tropical plants that are planted here. The big leafy green plants, vegetation. It's definitely very different than what we have in St. Petersburg or in Indiana. All right. So here's your Chinese flavor for the video. Again, this is, I guess this would be considered the main entrance of the mall, Resorts World Manila. But they had it all decorated for Chinese New Year, and I thought it was quite beautiful. Okay. Alright, so we'll go and head back this way. I don't think we need to go all the way to the end like I originally planned. So I mentioned before too, what is it like? So, what is it like to be a foreigner in the Philippines? It is quite different than Russia. I do feel kind of a sense of relief in that the language barrier is not as big. Almost all the people here speak English, at least to some extent. So I haven't had too much of an issue with that. But things are also challenging at the same time. I'm not a tall man. I'm a short 5'9". By that I mean I'm closer to 5'8" than I am 5'10". But I still am taller than most of the people here. So whenever we're in public transportation, I often have to stoop down, kind of hunched over. It's not good for my posture.
Or the bridge, the overpass, the pedestrian bridge.
Oh yeah.
You also have
You gotta dip your head down. So I feel very tall here, which is great for my ego. Another thing that's great for my ego is that the people here are also, well, one, they seem to like white people, and I'm a white person. Unapologetically, by the way. And so they've given me a pretty warm welcome overall. It's been nice. And they seem to also enjoy, YouTube vlogger type stuff. So there's been a lot of comments from people here. Luckily, Marianne can understand the local language, so
Of course.
so that's been fun. It's been enjoyable. But unlike in Russia, where I can kind of blend in how I look, how I dress, I stand out.
There was even an instance wherein a girl or a lady asked for a photo.
Yeah. So I never got that in Russia. But oh well. We're not famous. We're not trying to be famous. But every so often to kind of feel like you might be a little bit famous feels good. But pride is also a sin, so let's not get too prideful.
And the girls were asking, how did you guys met? Oh, I will download that app.
Yeah. That's right. So.
And they're asking him, do you have a brother? Do you have friends who's single? And
No.
can you set up my friend?
They've been very complimentary. Yes. All right.
And they find you very handsome and tall.
I'm not tall. Okay, so let's turn the camera around here. We're back to the intersection with the Grand Ballroom. We'll take you down here. I realize we've now hit the hour mark for our video, but we're having a good time, and I hope we are too. So we'll keep on going, at least for a little while longer. So this little side road, it just kind of curves around and then eventually goes back to that one intersection with the church. But yeah, I very much miss Russia. I would love to go back. But at this point in our lives, God has us in this particular season. So we kind of just need to be obedient to His will and just do what we're supposed to do. And at this point, it's try to get Marianne to the States. So just, Marianne has never actually been to the States. She's met my family, my immediate family, but she's never actually been to the States. She's not met my extended family. So, we've been in this process for at least 2 years now. I think over 2 years. Over 2 years, and she still hasn't had the opportunity to see where I'm from and my family and friends back in the States. Again, here at the Marriott, it's a very beautiful very beautiful area. I like this fountain very much. Okay, so we'll move forward. This area here on the left-hand side, you'll notice there. Well, I mentioned it. No, I need to. Here on the side, there's a little lane, and that lane kind of goes all the way around that Marriott ballroom area, and people use it as kind of a track. So you'll see people out running and so on. I enjoy running as well, but unfortunately, I've been kind of on the injured list. I've had some issues that I've needed to take care of with my knee, and I've been getting physical therapy done. So, you know, my knee has been kind of hurting after running, or during running too. So, like, you know, the whole medical tourism thing. We've went to the clinic, got it checked out, got some x-rays done, and I've been getting some physical therapy done here. And just wanted to mention again, just the shocking difference in cost. So for us, or for one person, physical therapy is 700 pesos per session, and the session lasts like an hour and a half. And I got some work done on my knee, got some work done on my back,
Spine.
Yeah, spine, that kind of stuff. And you know, this 1.5 hour physical therapy session is 700 pesos. So, you know, we're spending not that much. You know, roughly $15, a little less than $15 for this session, and
Without insurance.
that's without insurance. We have insurance, but we don't know if it covers it yet. So. Yeah. So again, I'm just shocked at the prices for medical things here, and we're trying to take advantage of it while we can, while we're here. Yeah. While Marianne is scrambling around to get records and stuff, you know, these documents, I'm trying to get some things healed.
I think in the States, the physiotherapy per session without insurance is more than $100.
Oh man.
Yeah, but if you have insurance, the copay would be like $30.
Yeah.
So it's still way cheaper here without the insurance.
Yeah, even
than
without
in
the
States
insurance,
with insurance.
you know, the $30 copay is still greater than what we're spending on these things. So it's amazing. All right.
And it's also cheaper than Russia.
Yes. So it is cheaper than Russia as well. All right, so we're heading up towards the intersection where we stopped for a little bit with the piano keys. I haven't seen very many stray cats. I think it's probably because of the heat of the day. It's probably around 90 degrees Fahrenheit currently. We chose a nice, beautiful, sunny day to get this done. There's a little spot right here on the right-hand side that we'll take you to. It's going to be kind of loud though, and I hear that they're playing music, so we may not last, or we may not stay around too long. But it's a nice little fountain. It reminds me of Russia. Hopefully YouTube doesn't flag us for the music. Like, it's not our music. We didn't inject the music in. Please don't give us a copyright violation. Okay, so in this area, oh yeah, another thing too, Filipinos typically will use an umbrella. It's a UV protected umbrella to shade them from the sun, which makes perfect sense. Okay, so we mentioned before about the top pizzas that we've tried so far. We said number 3 was S&R, number 2 was Kenny Rogers Roasters, the Detroit style pizza. Some people may not like this. I don't know what the overall attitude is towards this particular company, but the pizza we've tried here at Yellow Cab is actually the best that I've had so far. We're hoping to make some kind of like review video, that kind of stuff, with Yellow Cab. In fact, we might even do that tomorrow. We'll see. But so yeah, that for me has been the best pizza that I've tried so far here in the Philippines. The street pizzas, that kind of thing, they're okay, but it doesn't really satisfy. Okay. And then we've got other foreign or Korean and Chinese eateries here. Okay. Tell you what. All right. So we'll move on from here. We'll keep on going. We'll find a quieter place to kind of wrap things up. But that was pretty much. That's pretty much the main stuff we wanted to mention, and the main things we wanted to show you. It is getting quite warm, so we'll go ahead and go up here across the street. So we're back now at that church I mentioned earlier, the Catholic church. That's pretty much the only church that I've seen in this area. I don't recall seeing any other churches here. Oh, one thing that comes to mind that I've not mentioned yet. I would like to stay on this side of the road, but it's so hot. So let's go ahead and cross. Hope we don't get ran over. Okay. So the other thing that we have yet to mention is, when do we expect to be in the States? That's a very good question. It all kind of depends on if Marianne, if Marianne is approved for the visa. So if she is approved, we've actually been waiting to visit family and friends in other parts of the Philippines, because this whole visa thing has basically consumed our entire time, essentially. I mean, it's the main reason why we're here, so we're focusing on that. But Marianne still has family that we'd like to visit in other places of the Philippines. So if she gets approved on Monday for her spouse visa, then we will then take the next month or so to visit those family and friends that we've not been able to see yet. So that being said, probably the absolute earliest that I could foresee us being in the States would be in April, like early April, towards the beginning of April. We'll see. I very much would like to get home and see some baseball games, go to some track meets. I miss those things, but again, it's all in God's timing, so we have to trust that His timing is best. And if she gets denied, then that would just delay things. She would need to come up with more documents, and yeah, we're certainly hoping and praying that that's not the case.
I have everything already.
Yeah.
Almost.
So, yeah. So at the very earliest, I would foresee us being in the States early April. At this point, you know, because we've had to push things back so much, maybe late March, but probably early April is, you know, which for her makes her happy, because she enjoys being here as her home. All right, we're walking through the little. We're back to the Tokyo thing and the Bigoli. All right, so I guess we'll just go back to where we came from, and that way you can see where exactly we came from. All right, but you know, for you, Marianne, is there anything that you wanted to say, or anything to anyone else that might be watching, your family or anything?
Oh, I love you all.
I would think that that would go without saying. But any other like news type?
Oh, I miss everyone in Russia.
Yeah.
Hello to my friends there, you know who you are.
Right.
Too many to mention, but I miss everyone there. I also miss the food, the cheese. Yeah.
Oh, the bread.
Yeah,
Like,
the bread.
in Russia, that was
Yeah, really good.
yeah. The
And-
Georgian food.
Yeah.
We miss the Russian food as well. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
The different types of food there.
flowers, the scenery, yeah. If only Russia is just one jeepney away,
Yeah. Yeah.
and also the States. So that would make me very happy.
Okay, I'll go ahead and turn the camera back. Yeah, we do miss Russia.
And also UAE.
Right. UAE is a special place for us, the United Arab Emirates, because that's where we officially met. In fact, you know, going back to the little facts, these taxis keep honking at us, thinking that we're going to try to get a taxi.
The taxi.
Something. So this shirt that I'm wearing, I forgot to mention this, but going back to the Marriott, that was like our plan B for our wedding. And we were talking about UAE and all that. I forgot to mention, this shirt that I'm wearing now happens to be the very same shirt that I was wearing when Marianne and I met for the first time. So I try not to wear it very often because I want to keep it looking somewhat nice. But I decided to wear it for this particular day, I guess. Oh, here's another.
Oh, hot pot!
Here's one of my favorite places that we don't have in the States, but I intend to actually get a video maybe even later on today. It's a donut place where they make the donuts right there in front of you. And it takes just seconds. I mean, the machine cranks those things out, they fry, and then next thing you know, you've got half a dozen or a dozen donuts right there. And they're very, very tasty. Different flavors you can get. So I'm working on a video now of the various food places that I like dessert-wise, because I have kind of a sweet tooth. So, but on our way back to our place, we might stop there and try to get a video. All right, so right in front of us, you might be able to see the fountain, which is where we began this live stream. Again, this is still part of Newport City. But it's very different than the barangay that we were walking through earlier. If you're, for whatever reason, just now tuning in, we earlier took you through the local barangay, which is much more like real Philippines. You know, Sergei Baklakov in Russia has the Real Russia channel. Maybe we should start the Real Philippines channel. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. But here in the Philippines, again, I do feel more comfortable doing this kind of stuff.
People are more friendly and open
Yeah.
to being filmed.
And again, I obviously stand out here, unlike in Russia. So it's like you might as well embrace it and just, you know, enjoy the opportunity. All right.
Yeah, remember there was a group of kids. Hey, what's the Americano? Yeah, it's Americano. Hi. They're like,
Yeah, very friendly. So, all right, we'll go ahead and turn this back around so you can see again. This is where we crossed towards the beginning of the video. And we'll just kind of end things where it all started over an hour ago.
oh, look at the McDonald's.
Yeah, there's a McDonald's.
French fries. French fries.
Yeah, that's actually quite clever. I hadn't really realized that. Let me turn this around. I'm not a big fan of just, you know, here. This is not some kind of advertisement, but it is kind of neat how the McDonald's logo, because that's a speed bump right there. How it looks like it has French fries coming out of it. So it's actually quite clever. Okay, so. If you happen to have any questions for us, feel free to comment in the comment section. If you'd like to subscribe to our channel, we ask that you go ahead and click the button. Trying to do all the things that YouTubers say at the end. You click the button, smash that like button.
Help us get at least 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah, our overall goal is to get at least 1,000 subscribers. It's just a nice even number, I guess. So be sure to smash that like button. Commit an act of violence against that button, the like button. So, but still, if you enjoyed it, we appreciate it. And if you care to subscribe, great. Feel free to like or comment. Again, thank you very much for joining us today. Very much enjoyed it. Quite pleased overall. I hope that you are as well. So we'll just kind of end it here. So any other things to mention?
Stay healthy.
Stay healthy.
Please pray for us as well as we go for the U.S. Spouse visa interview this coming Monday.
Correct, yes.
Pray for instant approval.
I can't guarantee that we'll post something on YouTube that says the overall results anytime like soon, but if you are Facebook friends with us or one of our supporters, that kind of thing, we will definitely send out an update of the results. So please, again, keep us in your prayers. Thank you again for tuning in. We appreciate it. And we'll continue to be here in the Philippines at least for another month and a half. And then, but hopefully,
In the States.
Lord willing, we'll be in the States again. Oh, I'll be in the States again. Marianne will be in the States for the first time, and we'll be able to see you there if you're in the States. So, yeah. Take care, and God bless.
Thank you everyone for watching. Until the next video or the next live stream.
Do Sudanya.
Good night everyone.